I can't afford to live here anymore. I can't afford to live here anymore.
America has become completely unaffordable, and I don't know why more people are not talking about this.
Life's so damn high, you can't even afford to die.
If you've never been poor, shut the up!
What am I doing wrong? I work every day and I'm still broke. Like, I have a decent job, I make some decent money, but I live out here in Cali.
I need us as Americans to fully grasp that nothing is going to go back to normal or be the same after this.
One of the biggest lies being told in America right now is that everything is fine. Like, yeah, you'll see people outside, restaurants are packed, people still posting on Instagram like life is good, but I've been paying attention and something feels off. Prices are up, rent is up, debt is up, but nobody's really talking about how people are actually surviving. And that's what made me realize Americans aren't just struggling. A lot of people are quietly going broke. Not all at once, but slowly over time.
I mean, every month I pay bills and my account looks surprised, like where to go.
And the scary part is, most people don't even realize how deep they're in until it's too late. So let's talk about it.
I'm so freaking tired of life. I can't afford to live here anymore. I can't afford to live here anymore. I just spent 6 hours of my life serving tables, running around to make $50. To make $50. And I already know the comments are going to be like, well, get a better job. I'm trying. I moved here 3 weeks ago. I've sent out over 100 resumes. I've had one interview. I didn't get the job. I knew I blew it. I did not get the job. I'm trying. The only reason why I got a server job is to make some money while I'm trying to get my big girl job again so I can get checks that actually matter. So I can make money I can actually live off of. But nobody calls. Nobody's calling for these jobs. Indeed is, we're hiring, or where? Okay, because I sent my resume and I can't afford anything, okay? I live with my son and his roommates right now, and I'm very thankful for that, but I need my own place and I can't afford it. I can't afford anything. I cannot afford to live here anymore. And I can't take my own life. So what am I supposed to do?
Everything is expensive. I'm sorry, but I hope y'all know we're being pushed into poverty. I hope you know it's not because you eat out one time a week. It's not because you had that DoorDash last week. It's because we're being pushed into poverty.
America has become completely unaffordable, and I don't know why more people are not talking about this. Half of America doesn't even have a savings, rent is insane, healthcare is a luxury, and somehow the narrative is still people are just bad with money. What money? People are working full-time. Most people have 2 to 3 jobs anymore because you have to. At what point do we stop blaming the people and just accept the fact that the cost of living has simply just outpaced reality? Because everything is this expensive, you have to know exactly where all of your money is going anymore. A budget is just simply a necessity. You have to have one. Started using a budgeting app like mine to figure out where all of my money is going, but it does not make up for the fact that America is too expensive to live in anymore. If you're struggling, you are not alone.
I think what's happening right now is pretty simple. Life just costs more than it used to, and people are trying to keep up with an outdated standard. The price of rent, groceries, gas, insurance, everything has gone up, but incomes haven't kept pace in the same way. So now people are stuck in this gap where their lifestyles cost more than what they can actually make. And I've noticed something too. People haven't really adjusted to their expectations. There's still this idea that if you work full time, you should be able to afford a comfortable life, which is fair. But now that comfortable life is starting to feel like a luxury. So instead of scaling back, people stretch themselves. You still see people trying to go out, financing cars, paying for subscriptions, taking trips. But behind the scenes, it's getting harder to sustain. That's where the real issue is. Because once your lifestyle starts costing more than what you bring in, you're already under pressure, even if you don't feel like it yet, because it's going to catch up.
So my rent is close to $2,000. Food cost is going up. I just filled up my gas tank. It was like $48. My car payment's close to $500. My insurance is between 1 and 2. My light bill's about 2 something. My internet's 100 and something. My phone bill's about close to 100. But yet, $45,000 is too much for a single person in income. Are you kidding me? Like,
It's not enough.
at this point, I just want to live in my car for like 6 months and save money. Is anybody else struggling? Like, damn, Craig, it's not that I ain't got no money. It's not that I ain't got no money. Everything's so fucking expensive.
Wonder when the U.S. economy is going to collapse. Housing, food, and gas is all at an all-time high. The median age for a first-time home buyer is 40 years old. We have people graduating college and high school every single year, and they can't find a job because the job market's terrible. Prices of things and inflation's only getting worse too, so there's a pretty good chance that my generation and younger generations are never going to be able to afford a home.
How are y'all surviving how expensive life is right now? Like, no joke, I feel like I'm always constantly thinking about how I'm drowning in debt. And like, my rent is closer to $3,000 than it is to wait, I can't even say it. It's closer to $3,000 than it is to $2,000. Like, literally, I would have to round it. And y'all, my credit score right now is making me ill.
What am I doing wrong? I work every day and I'm still broke. Like, I have a decent job, I make some decent money, but I live out here in Cali. Like, bro, as soon as I get paid, I have all these bills stacked up, bro, that shit wipes me clean. Like, fuck, I got no money left over. Making $100,000 a year doesn't get you anywhere nowadays.
I think another part of this conversation that doesn't get talked about enough is how much the idea of the American dream has changed. Because there was a time where the formula felt clear. You work hard, you stay consistent, you do what you're supposed to do. And that over time will build something. You get a house, you get a family you can support, you get stability. It wasn't perfect, but it felt attainable. And when you look at older footage, people working, building, raising families, you can feel that sense of structure. There is a pride in ownership. There is a sense of progress. People believe that if they stayed disciplined, life would improve over time. But I think what's changed now is that same path doesn't feel as guaranteed anymore. Because today, you can still work hard and still feel stuck. You can do everything right and still struggle to afford things that used to be considered basic. Owning a home feels out of reach for a lot of people. Starting a family feels delayed. Stability feels uncertain. And I think that change in structure is what a lot of people are feeling, even if they don't say it out loud. Because when the system no longer produces the outcome people were promised, it creates confusion, and over time, it changes how people move. Now, instead of building towards something ahead, a lot of people are just trying to stay above water. The American dream used to feel like you were swimming towards something. There was direction, there was progress, you could see where you were going. But now, for a lot of people, it feels less like moving forward and more like you're not trying to drown.
So I understand that the coffers are officially bare. America is broke. Like for real, like, when you look at the numbers, I mean, okay, I know I've mentioned this about the debt several times in previous videos, but when you hear it spelled out like America has $6 trillion in assets and almost $49 trillion in debt, who's keeping the motherfucking books?
Want to know how I knew the economy was in pure shambles? This is the exact instance. It wasn't when everybody was saying, oh, inflation is going up when gas was so high. Nope. My friend and me were sitting down having a gentle conversation. I had $20 in my pocket. I said, hey, you want to go to Dollar Tree? He said, yeah. We go to Dollar Tree. I grabbed 20 items. Well, I grabbed 10. He grabs 10. So, naturally, I'm thinking we're going to walk out with 20 items. They ring me up for like $27. I'm confused. I say, what happened? I only got 20 items. She says, at the cash register, she says, oh, everything's $1.25. At that exact moment, I knew that the economy was in shatters. Dollar Tree has been a staple for so long that everything costs $1. I didn't care about $5 footlong. I didn't care about $1 drink from McDonald's. I didn't care about $1 McChicken. I didn't care about none of that. I didn't care about a lick of that. I didn't care if the dollar menu from Taco Bell sucks now. That was unimportant. But when Dollar Tree, the place that's known for everything costing $1, increases price by 25 cents, that is a drastic increase on every item in that store. You're probably thinking to yourself, it's not that serious. It is that serious.
I'm gonna keep it a whole beam with y'all right now. I don't know how a lot of y'all surviving. Like, the cost of everything right now, I really feel bad for the younger generation, because I can remember I could survive off $120 from one Friday all the way to the next Friday. Literally, I made that shit work. Don't ask me how I did that shit, but I did that shit. The cost of shit now, the people we got in that are sitting in Washington, D.C., they gonna have y'all in a situation to where it ain't gonna be no catching up. It ain't gonna be, all right, you even if this shit gets back to normal, just say it even gets back to normal, when it gets back to normal, the cost of everything is gonna be so much more high to where even at that stage, you still won't be able to afford a house, a car, just the basic shit that you should be able to accept or be able to have. And then, like, I get why people are leaving the U.S. I get why American citizens are leaving the U.S. because it is a lot cheaper to go elsewhere and to have an actual life. That should not be, it should not be an option just to have the basics, to have a car, to have a job, to have a house, to be able to afford an apartment. These are the basic fundamental shit that America really was built on, the American dream. But right now, man, I don't know what this is, because it ain't no dream. It ain't no dream, it's a struggle. So I really feel bad for like the younger generation, because it's like you're not giving them a chance to like at least have like a decent living life.
I think when you actually slow down and look at the numbers, that's when it really starts to hit. Because on the surface, everything can look normal, but the data tells a completely different story. From what I've seen, around 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And that's not just low-income households. That includes people making decent money too. So that already tells you something deeper is going on. It's not just about how much people make, it's about how much things cost now. And then you look at savings. A lot of reports show that a large percentage of Americans wouldn't be able to cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. And I think that's one of the biggest warning signs, because that means people aren't just tight on money. They're one expected situation away from falling behind. Oh, and let's not mention credit card debt, which has hit record highs over $1 trillion. And that's not just people spending irresponsibly. That's people using credit to maintain their everyday life. Groceries, bills, gas, things that used to be manageable without borrowing. And when you put all that together, paycheck to paycheck, low savings, rising debt, it paints a very clear picture. I think what we're looking at is a situation where people aren't building anything, they're just maintaining. And even that maintenance is starting to come at a cost.
All right, let's read some comments. What bothers me is seeing my coworkers more than my family. That is the ultimate sacrifice to make amends. Imagine having to sacrifice seeing the people you love the most to be in an environment with the people you hate the most. Spent $70 on fast food today and it wasn't even fulfilling. Disappointed. Imagine spending $70 on food every day and it's nasty. I mean, if you're gonna eat nasty food, at least go to like Cookout or Cane's or something that's cheap and affordable. I remember going on spontaneous mini vacations, clubs, restaurants, events. I used to have a 1-bedroom apartment in 2009, working as a waitress, and still had money to party and live life. Now I hardly have enough for necessities and work way more. Times have changed. I think the best year for me was 2012. I feel like after 2012 to 2016, life just got harder for everybody. Before we really saw what the internet evolved into, before like social media and people making careers off of social media, I feel like life was affordable. People were making reasonable incomes with respectable careers. But now people are just trying to survive, and it's pretty sad. Between now and Monday, I need $400 just to pay my gas bill for last month. For February, the shortest month in the entire year, almost $400? This country is circling the drain for real. I'm so tired. I mean, we talked about gas prices in my last video, and I think they're only going to increase. But $400 for gas in a month? That is insane. Grocery shopping is extremely tiring now. I can't even get 7 dinners to feed a family of 5 for under $200. Dinners only, with the exception of items to make a sandwich for lunch. We have to make beans and rice to be filler dinners, which is fine, but also I want to eat other things. I don't blame you. Having to eat beans and rice every day can get tiring. So many people are one bad medical bill / one bad pothole or one appliance dying away from living in our cars outside our jobs. The struggle is depressingly real. That is very scary to think about because I don't know about you guys, but all over my For You page on YouTube, I'm seeing more YouTubers make videos in their cars, you know, having to live below their means. And it's just very depressing because we're not supposed to be living like this. Living in our cars as Americans is not the American dream. That's not something that we should be proud of as Americans.
I am so tired of feeling helpless as a parent. Yes, my kids are grown adults. My oldest is 28, my youngest is 25. And I thought by teaching them what I learned, which is you work hard, you get a good job, you're going to get the things in life that you need, right? Worked for me, why wouldn't it work for them? Because it doesn't. Because the world has fucking changed, all right? And now I feel like I see them struggling. And before my generation comes at me, yes, I understand struggling is a part of life. We all struggled. But there's a difference between struggling and drowning. All right. So we struggled and it was tough. But you know what? We made it. We knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel with our struggle. It seems like kids today, no matter how much they struggle, they just get further and further down the water into the drowning point. All right. When I was their age, I was making less than $10 an hour. And I can afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making 6-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live. So what the fuck is going on and how do we help them as parents? I told my son, all you have to do is work hard, go to college or join the military like I did. He went to college, got his degree, got a full-time job. He moved back in with me right when he graduated from college because he said, hey, Mom, as soon as I get a job, which was within 2 weeks of him getting out of college, maybe take me 2 months and I'll save up enough money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are 1-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month?
It's crazy.
Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy and then everybody else is just poor.
Life's so damn high, you can't even afford to die. Have you seen the cost of caskets and funerals? Man, when I die, just throw my ass in the ocean. Fuck it.
So we in America can't even afford to live anymore. This 1976 cost of living, the average income was $16,000. A home was $43,000. New car, $5,000. Rent, $220 per month. Just look at these prices. So based on that, they're saying that the average income should be what, $84,000 now? So that means that with $240,000, I should be able to buy a new house. It's not possible. And also the average income is not $84,000. You know, most people are making way less than that. $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, but it's not $84,000. And based on this, I should be able to get a new car. That's what? It says it would be like $5,000. So if my income is $80,000, a new car should be like $20,000, which most of the time they also are not, unless you're getting a value car.
For average rent?
Also, if we're looking at this, your rent for the year should only be 15% of $6,000, which would be about $2,000 something dollars, which our rent is not 15% per year. It's like 30 or 40% per month. So yeah, something is definitely wrong. New car, nothing is adding up. So basically, we're not making enough to support what things cost, and it's a horrible thing.
I think one of the biggest reasons people quietly going broke gets overlooked is perception. If you scroll online right now, it looks like everybody is doing fine. People are traveling, upgrading their lifestyles, buying new things, and it creates this illusion that everything is working. And I'll be honest, I've caught myself thinking that too. Like maybe I'm just overthinking it because everybody else seems good. But the truth is, a lot of people are just really good at hiding it. They're juggling bills, moving money around, delaying payments just to keep things looking normal. And that creates a lot of pressure because it feels like you have to keep up even if it's hurting you financially. And that's how people start making decisions based on appearance instead of reality.
Somebody needs to explain to me why I can't afford this ground beef. I go into the supermarket, okay, because I'm looking for some ground beef for my lasagna and also for my spaghetti. I read the ground beef. Why is it $30? Who can afford that? And don't get me started on the chuck roast. The chuck roast is like $15 per pound. You guys, that is insane. What happened to groceries becoming more affordable? What the hell? That's an affordable lie. Like, I am so disgusted right now. Dinner canceled because I can't even afford the beef for the dang on lasagna.
This economy is so bad. $33 for toilet paper? We can't even afford to shit.
Like, are we dead serious right now? Like, are we dead ass? Is this real life?
Look at that.
$7 for a bag of chips.
A regular Coke, 3 for $20.97. Like actual soda, $21.
What the f? Used to get a whole cup.
$13.99? $14? For what? A gallon of orange juice? Y'all must be out of y'all.
For 2 pounds of lunch meat, $23. How the hell we supposed to feed our kids on this crap?
Truly, look at this. Look how small this pack is. Seriously, that fits like in my palm. Crazy.
The grocery stores are like, it look like it haven't even been touched.
If you've never been poor, shut the fuck up with telling poor people what they need to do about literally anything.
Chill.
The advice sometimes of, oh, you should have just gone to the dentist. How about I couldn't afford it? Oh, you didn't have dental insurance? I couldn't afford it. Just buy a new one. Just buy this and it will solve your problems. I can't even afford to buy food right now. If you have never had to consider where you're getting your next meal from, or consider using literal book pages to wipe your own ass because you can't afford toilet paper, I personally don't want to hear about your thoughts on what poor people should do.
You know, I'm flipping through TikTok here on my lunch break, and every 3 or 4 videos I see it's someone talking about how they're living in their car, how they work full-time, they have a full-time job, but they live in their car. There are millions of Americans that are dealing with the same thing, okay? It's not people here or there. You know people that are living in their car, you just don't know it. People that aren't bad people, people that aren't making mistakes or doing the wrong thing, people that just can't afford life anymore. Not because of bad decisions they made, but because the prices have just got so high, people can't afford it. People don't have the money to buy groceries and pay rent the same week. Car payments are as much as mortgage payments. If you want to go buy a week's worth of groceries, you're going to spend $600, $700. Nobody can afford that. My power bill is almost $500. My house isn't even 1,000 square feet. What do we do? The prices are just going up and up and up and up and up and up, and no relief for anybody in any way, shape, form, or fashion. America has become unaffordable for Americans. Our government is spending all of our money on a war that we didn't ask for and don't need. Our president does not care about the little people. He cares about his friends in Israel. It's not going to get better until we say no more.
Nobody just wakes up and suddenly everything falls apart. It's gradual. It's small decisions over time that slowly build pressure. At first, it can be manageable. Maybe you carry a small balance on your credit card. Maybe your savings aren't where you want them to be. It doesn't feel urgent. But then life happens, an unexpected bill, a car issue, a medical expense, and now things start to change. And I think what people underestimate is how quickly things can snowball once you've already stretched thin. When you don't have a financial cushion, every problem becomes bigger than it should be. And instead of solving one issue, you're stacking another on top of it. That's what quietly going broke really looks like. It's not obvious. It doesn't look like failure. It looks like someone managing until they can't anymore. And by the time it becomes visual, it's already serious.
Nothing is going back to normal. I need us as Americans to fully grasp that nothing is going to go back to normal or be the same after this. Some things are irreversible. A lot of Americans have this mindset that once Trump is over, things are going to reverse, and that isn't true. If Trump gets us into a global recession, if not a global depression, you're not going to fix that in a matter of 4 years. It's going to take possibly a decade. Do people forget that the Great Depression lasted for 12 years. From the stock market crash of 1929 until the start of World War II. That's 12 years. Are people aware that when the oil embargo of the 70s happened, it wasn't until the 80s that things got back on track? So if we're going to have an economic downturn, a severe economic downturn, especially with the petrodollar declining, it is going to take years, if not over a decade, for things to get fixed or corrected, if ever.
I work in finance, and this is my honest prediction on what's going to happen in the next couple months. I believe in the by summertime, by May, June, you're going to really see the oil crunch happen. Okay, oil will be very, very expensive, probably all-time highs in the near term. Natural gas will also rise. Though diesel will also rise. It already has $5 a gallon, but it's going to get even worse. Things are going to get progressively worse as we get closer to summer because we start to consume more energy into the summer. Right? Then you're going to see everything else go up in price as well. It's going to be like quite a massive shock, honestly. Things will have to get repriced pretty quickly because everything else for the producer is also gotten expensive. Like core commodities, everything is going to go up, right? And then we're going to hit a deep recession because our economy can't handle that much of an energy spike in that short of time. You're going to see massive, massive recession by summertime. And then you're going to basically see mass layoffs by the end of summertime into Christmas, into like a holiday season. Basically in time for midterms. It's going to be bad, guys. I mean, I'll be not to sugarcoat it, but it's going to be very, very bad.
We've already seen a lot of
because
them.
inflation will also start to become an issue. We're not going to get interest rate relief, which means we're not even going to get a lever that can help us get out of it in the near term. And then obviously Donald Trump is going to keep messing things up, so it's just going to progressively get worse. And this is not something he can fix in the short term. It's already happened, so now you can't band-aid something. It's just going to be a shockwave. Yeah, prepare for it. Keep a lot of cash on hand. I would say definitely start to reevaluate your stock investments, things like that. Just, if you have any, just be cautious. But it's about to be a bloodbath, and I would rather you be prepared for it than not.
America has just become so unaffordable, and I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. Half of the country doesn't even have a savings. Rent is absolutely insane. Healthcare is a luxury, and somehow the narrative is people are just bad with money. Like, what money? We're working full time. Most people have 2 to 3 jobs because nowadays you have to. Like, at what point do we stop blaming the people and just accept the fact that the cost of living has outpaced reality? Because everything is so freaking expensive, you have to know exactly where your money is going anymore. Like, a budget is simply a necessity. You have to have one. I had to start using a budgeting app like mine to figure out where all my money was going. But it still does not make up for the fact that America is too freaking expensive to live in. If you're struggling, you're not alone.
And I want to let y'all know that it's just not you. America is drained as a whole. Like the whole country is running on fumes right now. Wake up tired, go to work tired, go home tired. And it's not because we lazy, it's because the system is actually exhausting us and draining us. Think about it, people are working longer hours just to afford the basic shit. Food, rent, gas, everything's expensive right now. Your money not stretching like it used to, your paycheck not stretching, and it's wearing everybody down. Then everybody get on social media for a dopamine hit to kind of release themselves from the real life and reality. Our brain never actually get a chance to rest. Let's be real, America don't really care about us resting. We glorify hustle culture, and then we treat burnout like it's normal. No wonder everybody walking around all tired, aggravated, and don't want to be bothered with. But until the system changes and things get better here, we all just going to continue to be exhausted. Not really think it's going to go downhill from there.
I think the real question isn't just are Americans going broke? It's how long can this keep up before something gives? Because eventually, the math has to catch up. You can't just keep increasing costs, stacking debt, and maintaining the same lifestyle forever. At some point, something has to change, either how people spend, or how much they earn, or how the system itself works. But until then, a lot of people are going to keep doing what they've been doing, holding it together on the surface while things slowly build underneath. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Your boy has been sick for the last 2 weeks because of this pollen. It is crazy over here in North Carolina. But let me know if you guys like this type of video format, as I'm still experimenting with the topics I want to remain consistent with. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. And until next time, I'm out.